Thank you guys so much. It's such a joy to be here this morning with you all. Now, I have a question. Who here loves having a clean home? Who just loves having a clean home? There's just something about it. There's something about having a clean house when you wake up in the morning and there's no dishes in the sink. Oh, it's just like your heart is so thrilled. Or you look at the living room and there's no crumbs on the floor. It was all vacuumed up. You Swiffered whatever you did to make it so, so beautiful. It is a good feeling. And to no surprise, the household cleaning product industry is a booming industry because we love clean homes. We love to have clean homes. And they estimate anywhere between $230 to $260 billion in profit every single year. And it makes sense. It totally just makes sense. And it's cool because you can go down the list of all the different things you could buy for your home, whether it's the all-purpose cleaning sprays or the glass cleaners or your non-toxic eco-friendly options. I know some of you guys are into that. There's a whole list though. You could buy all the different products to ready your home, to tidy up your home. But you want to know the crazy thing? That you can buy all the products, you can try all the things, but you will never have a perfectly clean home. Can you believe it? You would think, after all this effort, that I could get to perfection. But no. In fact, it only takes one crumb from your toddler, eating that crumb, that cookie, or one juice box from the apple juice. It's just going to spill. It's going to make a mess. There will be messes. Your home just can't be perfect. It will never be. It's a lie to believe that you think your home will ever be perfect. Now, I would not want you to ditch the whole cleaning thing altogether just because, it's never going to be perfect. What if you just said, you know what, it's never going to be perfect. I'm just never going to clean again. Obviously, that would be foolish. You should not do that. I hope you guys tidy up your homes. That's a good thing, right? But it would be silly to get caught up in thinking that it's ever going to be perfectly clean because it just won't. And oftentimes I see in a lot of young moms, they believe things that are just not true. They get caught up in lies. And one of those lies is that they believe they can be this perfect mom. They believe that they can achieve this kind of perfection in motherhood because they see it all over the place in social media that it seems like there's these perfect moms out there and I just want to be that and I'm not that. And because they get so caught up in this never-ending chase, they just feel discouraged. They feel really exhausted. They feel anxious oftentimes because they're just not getting to what they want to be. Well, this morning, one of the main things that I want you guys to take away is to know and realize that the perfect mom, she doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a perfect mom. Instead of chasing perfection, trying to achieve this thing, we need to reprioritize our lives and focus on what really matters most for motherhood. What matters most as a mom? That's what I want to hone in on. That's what I want to focus in on. And that's really our first takeaway for this morning. So you can write it down as our first point. It says, release the need to be a perfect mom. Release the need to be a perfect mom, whether it's in the cleaning or the organization or the cooking. You'll never be perfect in this. And it reminds me of a lie that I have believed many times, and that is the lie that I'm just going to rest my eyes. I'm just resting my eyes. Have you done this? I have done this so many times. It often is when I put the kids to sleep. And me and my husband will, put on a show or something. And we're sitting on the couch. And literally, all it takes is like 30 seconds and I'm out. I'm just asleep. And I think that, it was only a couple minutes, whatever. But little did I know, it's been 45 minutes. I missed the entire plot of the movie. And he's like, why are we even watching movies? What's the point? And honestly, we don't really watch movies anymore because I just fall asleep. It's like, what's the point anyway? It would be silly for me to keep saying, I'm just resting my eyes. No, I'm not sleeping. Because you know what I just need to do? I just need to go to bed. Instead, I just need to say, you know what? I'm going to sleep. I can't watch this movie. I just do not have the energy because I was watching children all day. Oftentimes, we can fall into these traps of believing things that are just not true. And there's a few that I can think of when it comes to motherhood. There's a few lies that we can even get caught up in. And so I want to address some of those lies. What are some of those things that we can believe in that are just not in step with reality. One of those is that we might believe that other moms must have it all together. Other moms just have it all together. It's just me who is not handling this well. It just seems like I can't get all my ducks in a row. I can't get this thing figured out. I'm way more stressed than the average mom. It's just me that's feeling bombarded and burdened by all the things I have to do. But in reality, no one has mastered motherhood. No one has got it all figured out and has perfected this thing in reality. It's not true. And honestly, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves so harshly. We can compare ourselves so harshly and get compared and caught up in the horizontal view of what other moms are doing and what they're achieving. And so instead of that, we need to focus on the things that God has entrusted to us, because your set of responsibilities that God has given you as a mom are different from the person that's sitting next to you. And so your job, instead of looking sideways and seeing what are they doing, what are they perfecting in, we need to just be faithful in what God has entrusted to us. What are the responsibilities that God has given me that I just need to be faithful in? I just need to be faithful in accomplishing. Instead of being a mom that chases after the opinion of others, what other people think, what other people are doing, we just need to be faithful in what God has given us, being faithful in those things. It's super important. Now, another lie that a lot of moms believe is that I just need to get everything under control. I just need to get everything under control and then everything will be fine. If I can just get it all under control. And this might be, an organization thing in your mind, right? Like the home just needs to be spotless. It just needs to be perfect. Maybe it's the toy bin that it's never perfect, but I just need the blocks to go in the block bin instead of the car bin, right? Whatever it is that is in your mind. But a lot of the times, us moms can get frazzled. We can even get obsessed over this perfection, that we just need things to be the way we want them. I have this standard in my mind and it needs to be met. And if it's not, then I'm going to be anxious. I'm going to be stressed out or lash out on my kids because the home is just crazy, whatever it is in your mind. You want control over your life, but in reality, you have very little control over your life. In fact, God has all control. You don't. He's the only one that has all control. And so stop thinking that you do. This is super, super important. If your focus is on perfecting your life, getting things all under control, you're never going to be satisfied. You're always going to be chasing after the next thing until you make it, and you won't, because we won't be perfect. This is such a lie we don't want to believe. So instead of trying to get everything under control, we just need to reprioritize what matters most. What matters most as mom? That's what I want to focus on in motherhood. That's super important. Now, another lie is that I have to prove myself. I've seen a lot of moms do this. I've done this. I have to prove myself. I just got to prove to myself that I'm capable, that I can do this with whatever task that I have, with my many kids or the home or cooking, cleaning, whatever it is. You want to feel like you're good enough, like you're worthy in a sense. And there could be some pride behind that you want to prove to other moms that you got this. You want them to see that your life is seemingly perfect. Maybe it's some performance that you act a certain way so that moms will see that you got it all under control. You got your life together. But motherhood is not about proving anything. It's not about proving to the mom next to you or the other person or your mother-in-law in your life, whoever it is, proving anything that, look at what I've done. Look at who I am. Look at the life I've built. That's not what it's about. It's about being faithful in your parenting, in the responsibilities God has given you. So stop looking to the left and right and focusing on proving yourself. And the last lie that I've believed, and I'm sure you have too, is that good moms just don't make mistakes. They don't make mistakes. I'm the only one who just keeps falling short. I keep messing up. Why is it me? I just can't get this thing straight. What is this? And you know what? This is especially hard because of social media. I mean, we live in a day and age where the photos or the Instagram reels or Facebook, whatever it is, it's perfect, right? It's filtered, it's curated. And so we think to ourselves that I'm lacking, I'm behind, I'm not where I need to be. It's tricky. It's really hard because it seems like the seemingly perfect life is in front of me and I'm just not there. So we can get caught up in this lie that I'm the only one that makes mistakes. But in fact, good moms will make mistakes. You will make mistakes because we're not perfect. We are not perfect, and no one is perfect except one. There is one person who was perfect, and that's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the only person who was completely perfect. He was unlike any other human being that has ever existed. He was both fully God and fully man. He walked this earth for 30 years, and he lived the perfect life that you and I just never could. He lived the human life that the way it was designed to be lived, perfectly doing what God wants us to do, never sinning, never doing anything wrong. This is amazing. And when we die and stand before God one day, we want to be found in his perfection. We want to be clothed in his perfection, looking like Jesus. And the only way to do that is by turning away from our sin and trusting in his perfect life, in his perfect death, resurrection, all these things. And so instead of being caught up in trying to achieve perfection, now we can look to Jesus and his perfection and find comfort knowing that he has achieved it for us. We don't have to be perfect because he was perfect in our place. This is amazing. And now, once we admit that we'll never be perfect, I hope that relieves you of some of those stressors. It relieves you of that pressure to be perfect. Now that we can address that, let's focus on the things that do matter. What can we replace those things? Center our motherhood around what matters most. And so that's our second point for this morning. Put it down like this. It's center your motherhood on what matters most. Center your motherhood on what matters most. We don't want to chase after perfection. We don't want to try to perfect our lives. Instead, let's just focus on the things that really matter in the end. Now, I don't know about your family, but in my experience, family photos just don't go as planned. They just do not go as planned. And this is my experience for our Christmas photos this year. It was not the photographer's fault. It was not at all. It was just that I have a lot of kids. And at the time of taking these photos, I had an almost 4-year-old, an almost 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 3-week-old. So it didn't go well. It did not go very well, but I tried to plan out all the coordinated outfits, all the matching colors, the neutrals, tried all the things. But in the middle of this photo shoot, guess what I started a week prior to it? Potty training. I started potty training, and I really shot myself in the foot. I don't know why I did this, but we are on the road, and of course, my toddler has an accident. And so the perfect outfit that I just had all planned out, it was all ironed out, whatever, all the wrinkles out, was trashed. It was trashed because he had an accident, poor thing. I should have known better. And I was obviously really bummed in the moment, right? Because I had the backup pants, you know what I mean? The backup pants in your diaper bag, and they did not match. They did not match the rest of our outfits. They were like black and just stood out. And I could have been so bothered. I could have been so upset and said to my photographer, you know what, we just need to cancel the photos. Can we please reschedule? His outfit doesn't match. But you probably would have looked at me and said, come on, that's ridiculous. It's just pants. It really doesn't matter. In the end, what mattered most was my family. I'm so thankful for my family. I'm so thankful that we could take a picture of my family. It's hard to get everybody together. You know what that's like. But it would have been silly to ditch the whole thing altogether because it's just a picture. And now there's a lot of things that we can get caught up in that just don't matter. They don't matter. 100 years from now, they're really not going to matter. And so what are some of those things that we can get caught up in that really don't matter most? Well, for some of us, it might be that home. It might be that perfect home that you just envision in your mind, that you want all your baseboards just pristine. Those things need to be white as snow, nothing on my baseboards, right? Maybe it's for you what you cook. Right? That everything needs to be made from scratch. Every last thing, I have to make it from scratch. And there's nothing wrong with that. Make your sourdough, make your things. I'm sure your husband's like, awesome, thank you so much, I love it. Whatever it is that you can get caught up in that just make so much time. You use a lot of the time there. Maybe it's investing in the cute clothes, right? That your kids' outfits have to be perfect. They have to be so cute and they all have to match and coordinate. None of these things are wrong. But at what expense are they being prioritized? What is lacking because you focus so much on this instead? The clean home, the making things from scratch, whatever it is, fill it in the blank. Your children, they're just not going to remember the perfect home that you had. They're not going to remember all the amazing recipes that you made. Your children are going to remember you. They're going to remember who you were as a mom, how you spoke to them, how present you were in their lives. Those are the most important things. And so that's worth investing in. That's worth centering our motherhood on. So what are those things? Because research shows that a mother's presence in a child's life is one of the biggest predictors to a child's well-being. Really, that's what helps a child thrive, is a present mom. And so you can be that mom. You can be that mom to your child. One of the best gifts that you can give your children is your presence. And so let's focus on that. What are some of those things that we can do? Well, for one thing, we got to put the phone down. I know that's one of the biggest distractions. I think it would be so good for us to put the phone aside and to look at our children. Even as simple as just looking at our children, talking to them. I know this varies, by age, because obviously for some of you that have babies, well, guess what? Babies are going to be with you all the time because they kind of need you all the time. They're a baby, right? But it gets more challenging as your children start to grow or you get to toddler or elementary age. The temptation to just put the TV in front of them or, put up your phone and let them do their thing, it grows, right? And so we got to invest in how can I intentionally spend time with my children. It can be as simple as reading with them, reading one book every day with your children. Some of your children love to read or play with their car toys, whatever it is. Find that thing and hone in on that. Making eye contact, sitting with them, engaging, involving them in everyday activities. I mean, obviously, you don't just have children. You maybe even a husband. You have a home to take care of. You got a lot of things on your plate. So one easy way that you could involve your children is by getting them to do those everyday tasks with you. Try to involve them in those tasks that you need to achieve, even if it's just one little thing that you can do for them in their specific age range. I know for me, a temptation is to shoo my kids out of the kitchen, right? Because it's so hard when they got the toys in there, whatever. But when I engage them into making our Dutch baby in the morning or whatever it is that we're cooking, they love it. They love it. They just want to pour the sugar with you. They just want to pour the flour with you. It's such a gift. And so even if it's going to be messy, and it will be messy, it's going to be messy, involve them. That's a great way you can show your children, I want to be present with you. I want you to do this with me. Let's do it together. This is a great way that you can involve your kids. But all in all, we just need to slow down and focus on how we can be more and more present with our children. And obviously, as you are with your children, we're going to have more conversations together. We're going to have more discussions. You're going to be able to talk. This is an opportunity for you to speak into your child's life. And so what are some of those most important things that you can talk to your children about? Well, it reminds me of a Bible verse in Mark chapter 12, verses 28 to 31. Somebody asked Jesus this question. They said to Jesus, what is the most important commandment? In all the Bible, if I were to summarize what is the most important command that I should do, he gives two commandments here, and I want you guys to hear what they are. Jesus says here, where does it start? In verse 29, he says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. And the second command is this, that you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." This is amazing. Jesus says that the two best things that you can do is love God and love others. If you can love God and love others, that's the most important thing. And that's what you want to center your motherhood around, helping your children to love God and to love other people. So how can we do that? How are some practical ways that we can teach our children to love God? Well, for one, you want your children to know about him. So talk about him. Talk about God in your everyday conversations, even if it's as simple as just telling them about the creation. Right? Telling them about the world that God made and having conversations about that. Obviously, that looks different when you got a 1-year-old or a 4-year-old, but curate it. Try to implement it in simple ways so that they can start to get these elements all together. One way you can do this is by reading the Bible with your children. If you can read the Bible with your children, this is a great way to teach them about God. We have a lot of great books in the bookstore. One of my favorites that I read with my kids often is the Character Builders Bible. Character Builders Bible. It's a red book. It's in the bookstore. And it's really cool because it has a different characteristic from a passage of scripture. So generosity or humility or selflessness. And you just read a Bible verse with them and it gives a little how to do this in everyday life. It's so cool. But you could do that with your children, reading them, showing them the scripture, showing them God, teaching them all about him. Another thing you can do to help your children to love God is to pray with your children. Pray with your children every day, even if it's as simple as just before the meal or before bedtime, just a simple prayer, teaching them that this is how we talk to God. This is who we depend on. We want to do that more and more. And then lastly, a really good thing that you could do to help your children know how to love God is to take them to church. Take them to church. I know Sunday mornings can be hard. I know that the laundry bin can be full, but it's not worth missing. So start attending church with them. Start making it your weekly pattern that we're here on Sunday mornings. The laundry can wait. The dishes can wait. You will get to that. But let's get to church. Let's learn more about God. Don't skip it just because it was a long night or because you have a long list of to-dos. Do it, and you will not regret it. It reminds me of a story that's in the Bible, and this story is the story of Mary and Martha. It's this passage about how there's these two sisters in a home, and one is working the home, and she's trying to get all her ducks in the row. She's trying to cook, she's trying to clean, she's trying to get all of her things together, and guess what? She finds out that Jesus is in town. Jesus, the Messiah, the one who was promised in the Old Testament, he's here. And she's still cooking. She's still cleaning. And her sister, on the other hand, chooses the better portion. And we'll see what this verse says here. In Luke 10:38-42, it says this. Now, as they went their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving. And she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Like, help me out, sis. I have so much to do. Tell her to help me. Literally, she says. But Jesus, the Lord, answered to her and said, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. But one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. We got two options. We can be the frazzled mom who is chasing perfection, trying to get all her ducks in the row, or we can be like Mary, who sat at Jesus' feet and listened to him. This is the better portion. It's worth investing in loving God and teaching your children to love God. So who are you like? Are you more like Mary or are you more like Martha? Which one is it? Which portion is it? Let's choose the better portion. Now, another way that we can help center motherhood around what matters most is by teaching our children to love others, loving others. So what are some of those ways that we can do that? Well, one of those ways is by simply teaching our children that the world does not revolve around them. It doesn't revolve around them. Instead, the better way to live is to serve other people, is to be selfless, is to be sacrificial. This is a good thing. And so show them what it means to sacrificially love. One way that could be is in your marriage, showing them what it looks like to sacrifice for their future husbands one day, showing them what it looks like to sacrifice for their future spouse one day, that you want to display to them a marriage that is all about selflessness. You guys serve one another. You are caring for your husband, that his interests are your interests. His priorities are your priorities. That's how mommy loves daddy. That's how we do this. Teaching your children basic things like caring and sharing, generosity, kindness, all of these great things. You can give them opportunities to do that. Maybe even one way is by helping moms out. I know that many of you have other mom friends in your lives, and some of them are having hard times, or they just had a baby, or their family's going through a huge financial crisis. You can display to your children, this is how we love other people. Let's bring them a meal. Let's come over for coffee. Let's talk to them. Let's show them sacrificial love. This is a great way we can show our children that. We want to show our children also that when they see a need, guess what? You can meet that need. You can be the one to bless somebody. You can be the one that helps somebody by loving them well. This is all so good, and a fantastic way to prepare the next generation for what matters most. Now, with all of these tasks, it's going to take work. I mean, you're probably looking at this list like, whoo, I got a lot to do. I'm behind. That's okay. It is going to take work. It is going to take effort. And so we need strength. We need strength from the one who gives strength. And so that's our last point for this morning. We want to depend on God for everything. Depend on God for everything. We just can't do it ourselves. We cannot. We don't have enough strength in and of ourselves, but God does. And so let's depend on him for everything. And now it reminds me of transferring a sleeping baby into a crib. Whew, that is an elite skill. That is a hard skill to transfer that sleeping baby into that crib, and they're still snoozing. You know what I'm talking about. And what looks like you're just, putting baby in the crib and going is never true. There are so many tactics behind what you're doing, right? In the first place, getting that baby to sleep, you had to get that certain pace, right? Just the right pace for your baby to fall asleep, or the way that you shush them, the way that you're making the sounds, right? Just the way that they like it. And if you place baby down and move your hand just the wrong way, it is over. It is over. They are waking up, right? There are so many things, so many details that go into keeping that baby asleep. I know you guys know this. It's a real technique. And so is motherhood. When it comes to being a mom, there are real techniques. There's real work involved. And so exhaustion and discouragement, all of those things are a very real temptation and a real reality for some of us, because there's work, because we're working day and night to care for these little people, right? Motherhood is exhausting. And so we need strength. We need strength from God to be able to keep going, to not give up, to not throw the towel in, because we need the strength that he gives us. We can't lean on our own strength. We can't say, I can do this, because we're just going to get bummed out. And so every day we need to start by asking God for strength. We want to go to God in prayer and ask him to give us what we don't have in ourselves, the strength that we need to keep on going. We're not made to bottle up all of our emotions. We're not made to just feel all of our frustration or anger or anxiety, because guess what? It's going to spill out. We're going to freak out or vent or whatever it is. We're not made to just, tell our friends and gossip or slander or vent about how hard our day was. That's not the best option. Instead, what we should do is bring our frustrations, bring our anger, bring our sadness, whatever it is, to God in prayer. We should give it to God in prayer by casting all of our anxieties onto him, because the Bible tells us that he hears us. He will listen to us. So let's talk to him. So pray, depend on God in everything. In your efforts to maximize your conversations with your children, pray. Ask that God would help you to speak truth every single day. Ask that he would give you wisdom to talk to your children about the Bible, to talk to them about God and these realities. In your efforts to teach your children more about the Bible, ask God that he would help you in those discussions. In your efforts to slow down and be more present with your children, ask God to help you have self-control, to put the phone away, to put the other things away, and to be present. Ask God to help you in those endeavors. And in those moments of just feeling totally weak, totally helpless, totally alone, talk to God. He's listening. He will hear your prayers. And this is just going to help set your mind in the right place. This is what we need as moms. We need to depend on the Lord because we can't do it by ourselves. And now there's so much that we can talk about on this topic of being more present and not chasing perfection, but I hope this can just give you some tidbits to begin to implement these things in your life. And so I'm praying for you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful discussion in your groups. You are dismissed for your groups now. Have a great conversation. Take care.